do these videos, and a lot of them have bad information or bad news, I guess. So on a different take, I want to start these off by saying, you're a great person. If you have a family, I'm sure that they love you, and you're not around them, I'm sure that they miss you, friends, that kind of stuff. You have a support group, no matter what you're going through. And if you are well and everything's great and wonderful, it'd be awesome to reach out and help others, your community and around you. Anyways, this is about buying stuff from the government and paying for permission to do things, and even more, that the government says that you have to. So even though the government only exists because of the taxes, the labor, the money that they extort from us, they steal from us through taxes, inflation, fees, all that stuff, they still proclaim that they are the ones that benefit us. They're the ones that make us survive and make us thrive, and that is absolutely not it. Like I've said in the past, the government is a parasite. Parasites cannot live without a host. We are the hosts of this government, and we can get rid of it. Just like bringing an infested dog, animal, cat to your vet and have them take care of the infestation of parasites, whatever. Or if you have some issue around your house or in your apartment, whatever, cockroaches, ants, whatever. Just rid of them. That's it. They're only there existing because of the crumbs you've left, because of the way your house is kept, your apartment's kept, whatever. They're only there living because of you allowing that, just like the government only exists because we are allowing it. But anyways, on that note, I want to talk about a few of these. There are hundreds, but just some of these are ridiculous. You have to pay for permission. That's getting a permit or a fee, whatever, tax, it's all the same, to build a shed on your private land, to build a deck, add on to your home, whatever. You have to pay a fee, get a permit, pay for permission to buy a firearm, most states, that kind of stuff. To carry a firearm, you have to get a carry permit in a lot of states, a pistol, like that. Even some states you have to buy any license to purchase any firearm. You have to pay for permission, get a permit for that. You have to pay for permission to hunt on your private land in a lot of states. You have to pay for permission to fish in a lake that's nearby. No one owns that, really. It was there before anyone who's in the government ever lived, ever existed. It's going to be there after they're long and gone. That's it. But you have to pay for permission for that. You have to pay to have a fire in your outdoor fire pit, if you have one of those. In a lot of places, a lot of counties, a lot of states, you have to buy a fire permit, a burning permit. You have to pay for permission to have a fire on your private land. You have to pay for permission to sell your raw milk. In a lot of states you can't even sell raw milk, but some states you have to pay for a raw milk license, permit, permission. You have to pay, for a permit, for permission to get a license to be a DC tour guide. A tour guide in DC. Pumpkin and Christmas tree vendor license. Now, this was in Lake Elmo, Minnesota. Farmers can be fined $1,000 and put in jail for 90 days for selling pumpkins or Christmas trees that are grown outside city limits. That's crazy. We got interior design license. You need pay for permission to get a permit for that, for your interior designer. Additional 1099s. They're already here. They're implemented. You have to pay tax on things. Pay to pay taxes for your small business, for your business, whatever. This was in the 2,409-page health reform bill passed by Congress. This is a new regulation that will require U.S. businesses to file millions more 1099s each year. It is estimated that the average small business will now have to file an additional 200 1099s every single year. So this is, you think the government's involved a lot? That's so much more. It's going to cost so much more. You have to pay permission to run your small business even more. Pay even more. They call it taxes, they call it fees, whatever. It's extortion and they're stealing. It's theft, plain and simple. That's it. You should have to pay for permission to a parasite that only exists because you're allowing it. And I'm allowing it. We're all allowing it, in essence. So it is reported from the IRS that they had hired over 2,000 new auditors to audit as many of these 1099s as possible. So now you have to pay for all these fees, for all these extra 1099s, average $200 per small business per year, and now you're going to be paying more taxes on top of it, more extortion, and then the government turns around and hires 2,000 plus more employees, auditors they call them, to make sure that these taxes or these 1099s are being filled out and sent and given and whatever. So instead of just not having rape these small businesses, having to rape them and steal more from them, no, they're going to cause these small businesses to cost even more to have business, and then the government's going to want these fees, these taxes, whatever, and then they're going to hire more people to make sure that these fees, these taxes, these forms are, locked in, are adjudicated, are done the way they're supposed to be. All right, so now you need a license, a permit to close a business. Listen to this. In order to close down a business, Milwaukee requires you to purchase an expensive license. You must submit a huge pile of paperwork to the city regarding the inventory of which you wish to sell off, and you must pay a fee based on the length of your going out of business, it's a quotes, going out of business sale, plus $2 charged for every $1,000 worth of inventory that you are attempting to sell off. So, and the business will have to pay taxes on that, of course, beyond those fees, beyond those forms, beyond all this other red tape that they have to do to close their business down, whether the government forced them to close it down or what the circumstance was. That's just how it works. Sort of like paying taxes. You owe all these things, but in order to find out what you owe, you need to pay for a tax professional, or you need to pay for software. You need to do this and fill out all these forms, do all this paperwork, send it in, pay for shipping, pay for whatever it is to get it to the government. And then once the government goes through it and then it says, oh, this might be okay, this might be fine, then you owe this much. It's sort of like paying the king. Basically, that's all it is. It's extortion. So now, I'm almost at the end here. Sorry if I'm running long here. You need a license, a permit to be a barber, a shampooer at one of those facilities, to be cosmetology. You need a cosmetology license for health and beauty shop for doing hair, that kind of stuff. So now you need a license, you need permission, you need a permit for cosmetology for these things in every single state. There's no state you can go to without having to do this, without having to pay those extortion things. Also, think about it, this is just a small list. Like I said, beyond this stuff, you're paying taxes, you're paying fees, you're paying for permission to live in your house if you have a house that you own, whether you own it outright or you have a mortgage on it, whatever. You have to pay taxes, fees, permission to do things on your private land, to your private home that you own or are in the process of owning completely. You have to pay for that. And then once everything's owned, outright, you own a house, maybe you are renting a place to live, but you own, 200 acres of raw land. So different parcels here and there. You have to pay tax on that, property tax, on the raw land. And it might be sitting there doing nothing. You still have to pay on that. That's amazing. So I don't know. That's all I had to say about this. But you got to think about this, and this is just not even the tip of the iceberg. This is just barely touching. Like one snowflake hit it. That's it. That's how small this discussion, this video is on how bad extortion is and how bad things are on this level. But anyways, if you enjoyed this, that's great. Thank you for watching. Hit the like, share, subscribe, and stuff. And as always, stay vigilant. Yourself, your family, your health, and protect your wealth.